Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. We would be grateful if you would take a few moments to listen to the following short safety announcements. On hearing the fire alarm, we would ask everyone to evacuate the building immediately. Please leave in a calm and orderly manner using the exits which are located at the front and the rear of the hall. Then make your way to the assembly point at the front of the physics building located at the car park side of the hall opposite the main building. We would ask you to remain there until instructed otherwise. Please do not attempt to re-enter the building even if the alarms have been silenced, as this does not always mean the emergency is over. I would also like to take this opportunity to ask you to turn off all mobile phones and devices now for the duration of this ceremony. Thank you for your cooperation, and we hope you enjoy your visit to Queen's University.
I'm really looking forward to the day. I'm going to be happy to have my family there beside me.
I really enjoyed it. It was tough, and at the same time, it was worth it.
I've spent the last decade of my life in Queen's, and not one moment have I regretted it.
You're never really told to do anything at university. You know, it's up to you. You know, these opportunities are there. Sometimes it's just a risk you have to take. You know, you just got to put yourself out there. And so when you graduate, you have a degree, you have skills, you have friends, you have everything.
You have to update yourself and then improve yourself so that you can keep up to the pace where the society is going. You have to follow them, or maybe you have to be ahead of them. Like, you have to keep on learning.
There's a quote by Shane McKinney where he talks about life being a series of ripples widening out from an original centre. And I think when you're an alumni of a university as great as Queen's, you are one of those ripples out there in the world. You're part of a community and a family, no matter where in the world you live and work.
I think graduating with a degree in pharmacy from Queen's has given me confidence that I can hold my own in the world of pharmacy.
I just learned a lot of things that I never learned in the books.
Well, that's the thing I'm most proud of from my university career. Setting up a society was a great thing to do, and I was really glad I did it.
Life is a collection of experiences that you can look back on at the end and be proud of what you've done, know that you've enjoyed it, knowing that you've pursued every opportunity that was made available to you.
Hi, my name's James, and I'm graduating in geography.
Hi, I'm Christine and I'm graduating with a degree in pharmacy.
Hi, my name is Jill and I'm graduating at Actuarial Science.
Hi, my name's Carl. I'm graduating in sociology.
Hi, I'm Joanna and I'll be graduating with a PhD in science.
I'm Adam, I'm graduating in medicine, and I want to be a healthcare leader. I want to change systems for the benefit of not just the patient in front of me, but for millions of patients across the country.
Hi, I'm Catherine and I'm graduating in dentistry. I want to be a good leader in both my clinical practice and the dental profession as a whole. But ultimately, I want to be working in an area of dentistry that I love and have a happy and fulfilling life.
Please rise to receive the academic procession.
Good morning and a very warm welcome on this special occasion to graduates, parents, families and friends. I declare open this congregation for the conferment of degrees and the presentation of diplomas and certificates. Please be seated. Well, good morning, everybody. This morning, I want to address you on the subject of making a real difference to society. And let me begin by congratulating each and every one of you on all your hard work and having successfully now completed the challenges of your degree programs and reaching this very important point in the next stage of each of your respective life journey. I left college 34 years ago. And at that time, I was in the position that you find yourselves in today. I very much enjoyed my time at university, chairing the debating club, the Irish Society, playing sports, and I was involved in many other approved and indeed unapproved activities. My experience at university had a very significant impact, not only on my learning, but also in shaping me as a human being and in the future evolution of my career. Though at the time I was graduating, that was not obvious to me, but it very much is today. The reality was that when I left college, yes, I had qualified as a doctor, but the burning question was, what was to be my burning ambition? What would shape my life, both as a person, but also as a professional, and how would I make that contribution, and how would I make a difference? In coming to the clinical practice of medicine, I began to realize that my real function was to positively influence and make a real difference to the lives of people and patients that I had the honor of privilege to serve. Whether as an intern, an SHO registrar, or as a future oncologist, clinician scientist, cancer researcher, educator, and now as Vice Chancellor. I have very much taken that privilege and that challenge of trying to make a meaningful contribution and attempting to make a difference very, very seriously. And while none of us can necessarily achieve or expect to achieve national or international recognition for our actions, be they big or small, all of us, every single one of us, and every single one of you, can have a major impact in a very meaningful way. So, for example, an act of kindness to a dying cancer patient will not necessarily change the medical outcome, but the fellowship, the goodness that it embodies, will spread not only for the patient, but also to the grieving family, to hospital staff, and emanate into wider society, which will be the better for it. In a parallel life, a single laboratory experiment will not in itself bring about a Nobel Prize, a Nature Science, New England Journal of Medicine type paper, but it may significantly contribute to understanding what leads to the cure of human disease, and it may also enhance the value of living and create a better quality of life. As in atomic physics, a very small mass can suddenly be converted into huge energy if the conditions are right. And therefore, the accumulation of multitude of small actions done in a meaningful, incremental, and collaborative way can culminate in something very powerful. I know that many of you sitting here today may be asking the question, and indeed may be thinking, well, how can I change anything? I'm just one person. But just think about some of the biggest changes that you've already seen in your lifetime, many of them actually influenced by one person. Like Nelson Mandela, this university's centenary honorary graduate, who has helped heal the wounds of apartheid. Like Malala Yousafzai, the schoolgirl who defied being shot by the Taliban and who continues to campaign for the right to education, particularly for women. Or like Bill Gates, who actually never finished college, but now whose foundation is saving and improving lives right around the world, and indeed working with a number of our schools, School of Biology and School of Pharmacy here in this university. Each of those people is relevant to you, and indeed to your situation today, because each one of them had to choose how to react to the situations that they found themselves in. Not one of them woke up one morning and decided to set out purposefully on a journey, but they found themselves on one, and they used their knowledge and their talents and their skills, and indeed their passion that they possessed, to bring about change while on that journey. And therefore, while our individual actions may pass without being recognized, each action in and of itself, if particularly done for the right reasons, will inevitably be placed in the positive balance of making a real difference. Now, when one takes that concept into the realm of institutions, groups of people, such as hospitals, universities, businesses, cities, communities, and indeed nation-states, that impact can be very, very significant. And indeed, that challenge of making a real difference is a major hallmark of this university. At Queen's, we have been fortunate enough to have produced many globally renowned ambassadors, from outstanding scholars, businessmen, researchers, Nobel Prize winners, and influential political leaders both here and across the world, who have already had a profound impact in addressing challenges of the world. And that's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence because people like you, people who sat in those very chairs before you, believed in themselves. They utilized their knowledge and education in order to go out and to make a real difference. And as a world-class international university, we are very committed to meeting those needs of society, and in particular to our local society. And we know how important it is to invest in our students and in our graduates, because you are the future leaders of society. We also know how important it is to resolve the brain drain of our local talent in Northern Ireland, one of the biggest tragedies that Northern Ireland has today and does not talk about. A society that ships off 38% of its 18-year-olds to other institutions outside Northern Ireland for their education, and less than a third of them ever come back to help Northern Ireland flourish. So, as a university, for us to allow you to succeed, we must challenge ourselves on how we prepare you to become global citizens in this ever-changing world, equipped with the skills to enable you to make the right decisions. That's a tough challenge, but it's a challenge we have to meet head-on because this world is changing at a pace that society has not seen before. Technology is shrinking the globe and changing how we deliver not only education, but how we live as societies. And central to that is the need to provide as many opportunities as possible for our students to develop the skills and attributes that allow you to be successful at each and every stage of your life and indeed your professional career. That is why we link with over 200 partner organisations across the world and over 3,000 employers, broadening our students' horizons, opening doors, whether it's our partnership with the Irish International Immigration Centre in Boston, our workplace study tours, global leadership programs, city scholarship programs. Our students return home from each of these study and work opportunities with much greater confidence, a much greater perspective, and new technical leadership skills, and better placed to make a real positive impact both here in Northern Ireland and elsewhere. Employability and enterprise education is now being embedded in every degree pathway across this curriculum. And indeed, I want to pay tribute to Professor David Jones for his leadership in ensuring that that now happens. That's being delivered in partnership with some of Northern Ireland's biggest employers, providing valuable learning opportunities and practical experience, working hand in hand with our employers through the Employers Forum. And taking all of that into consideration, it therefore is no coincidence that close to 94% of you are actually in full-time employment or further study 6 months after you walk across the stage. It's also no coincidence that 80 of Northern Ireland's top 100 companies have Queen's graduates in senior leadership roles. These are also the reasons why we have invested so heavily in creating a 21st century university with world-class facilities. Through an ongoing £700 million transformation of our campus, we are developing a university that is already becoming a beacon of learning and innovation, not only in the UK or Ireland, but also globally. In September of this year, we opened our new law school, a wonderful new building, which actually has a moot courtroom in it, and now is a wonderful facility for world-class learning and a fantastic student social hub. For those of you who've come down the Malone Road today, you will have seen our new redeveloped computer sciences building, providing space for one of the finest facilities in the UK, producing the next generation of leaders for the IT industry. And earlier this year, we laid the foundation stone for a new £40 million School of Biological Sciences, which will open in 2018, providing world-class teaching and research facilities and driving the growth of the Northern Ireland life sciences and agri-food sector. That new school will be a key driver for the agri-food sector in Northern Ireland, which currently employs over 80,000 people, generating $5.5 billion in sales each year. We are also expanding our purpose-built student accommodation right downtown, right in the heart of the city, which Queen's will own. It's being developed by McAleer and Rush, providing an extra 1,200 student places, helping to transform Belfast, become known as a city of learning right across the world. And we are also about to become a digital university, creating an exciting and ambitious modern environment for students of today and tomorrow. We also, over the last year, have created 4 global research institutes and 6 pioneer research programs, which are now looking at some of the biggest challenges of our age, chosen not by Queen's, but chosen by the international community for the quality of the people leading them and the work that they do. And I want to pay tribute to Professor James McElnay for his leadership of that whole program. From securing a safe and nutritious food supply for the world, to protecting people, business and government from cyber attacks, to addressing some of the world's biggest health problems, and to helping establish peace in societies emerging from conflict. Those are some of the reasons why this university is in the top 1% of universities in the world. It's also one of the reasons that it's one of the most innovative universities in the UK and indeed in Europe. first for knowledge transfer partnerships with industry in the United Kingdom, and last year, first for commercialisation of intellectual property in the UK as well. It's also one of the reasons that we are ranked 8th in the UK for student experience and 8th for research intensity. And we were honoured earlier this year to have that excellence recognised by Her Majesty the Queen when we received our 6th Queen's Anniversary Prize for Cybersecurity, and indeed our first Regis Chair for Northern Ireland and for Queen's, and only the 6th Regis Chair ever given out. And we yesterday celebrated Professor John McCanney being appointed to occupy that chair as the inaugural recipient. But Queen's impact goes much further than Northern Ireland or indeed these islands. Just several weeks ago, I was honoured to be part of the Russell Group delegation to China, meeting with the China 9 universities, that's the top 9 universities in China, and developing and fostering excellence in research partnerships, innovation and higher education between both of our countries. We also have, in addition to that, 26 existing partnerships, and we also have China Queen's College in Shenyang, where the First Minister is currently visiting, where we teach pharmacy students in China, from China, and our staff go there to actually do that. We also now have a strategic partnership in Dubai, in the Middle East, founding the University of Medicine and Health Sciences, the Mohammed bin Rashid University, which opened in September and took in the first 60 medical students from all over the world. And in 21-22, they will enter the workforces. Collaborations like these are now driving forward an international perspective and agenda, the likes of which Queen's and indeed Northern Ireland has never seen before. And through your time and experience at Queen's, partly as a result of that type of culture and ambition, you are now ready to embrace those types of challenges. You are ready to become not just citizens of the UK or Ireland, but global citizens in this ever-changing world. And the reason for that is that you leave here today equipped with the skills to enable you to make the tough choices and to make the right decisions on life's journey. So what are those challenges that are ahead of you? There are many. The speed of change, the new technology revolution, which is permeating society, some of it good, some of it not good, the inevitable trend of globalization with changing attitudes, culture, and social conditions. This globalization will not only be around the movement of goods or people, but most importantly, it will be around the movement of ideas. You will change professions probably 3 or 4 times in your lifetime, and you will switch jobs many times more. And you will probably live in at least 3 or 4 different countries or cultures. Some of you may start as psychologists, pharmacists, architects, town planners, physicians, laboratory scientists, or chemical engineers. And you may be that person who makes a real difference to people and to society and to cities. Others may end up as leaders of global industry, entrepreneurs, venture capitalists, political leaders, or God forbid, even a vice chancellor. Or you may be that person who actually discovers the cure for one of the biggest scourges of our time, dementia and Alzheimer's. But at the end of the day, no matter who you are or what you do, it is how you approach those challenges that will fundamentally determine the outcome and indeed your impact. If that tends towards lethargy, ignorance, or selfishness, this will ultimately negatively impact both you and society. If, on the other hand, you are motivated to make a real difference, then the impact for you and for those around you and for society will be both positive and potentially very significant. In closing my speech this morning, I will finish with the words of the renowned American anthropologist and women's rights activist Margaret Mead, who once said that, "Never believe that a few caring people can't change the world, for indeed, that's all who ever have." Ladies and gentlemen, as you graduate today and begin life's professional journey and the rest of your life's journey, there can never be a better time to deliver on that message and embrace the challenge of making a real difference. Once again, congratulations to you all, and I wish you every future success in whatever or wherever your dreams may bring you. Congratulations. Will all graduates please rise? In the name and by the authority of the University, I confer on you and those whose names appear on the graduation list the degrees, diplomas and certificates to which you are entitled. You who are present will be individually presented by your head of school. Please be seated.
Vice-Chancellor, I present to you candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the School of Behavioural Sciences. Kevin Gerard Latimer. Sinead Onya Rooney. And for the degree of Doctorate in Clinical Psychology, Kate Brennan. Benjamin David Brew. Christine Mary Carroll. Debbie Leanne Kincaid. Nora Rosemary Laverty. Ronan Mills. Ryan Mitchell. Mairead Elizabeth Mullen. Elaine Ann Smith. John Anthony Smith. Catherine Mary Turkington. Gerard Victory. And for the degree of Doctorate in Educational, Child and Adolescent Psychology, Sarah Finnegan. Gillian Margaret Lunny. Laura Medill. Damien Rooney. Tara Shine. And for the degree of Master of Science in Applied Psychology, Clinical Specialism, Darren Stephen Maguire. Gail Hegarty. Fiona MacLeod. Alice Margaret Donnelly. Oh, sorry, in Child Development, Alice Margaret Donnelly. Maria Garcia Edo. Carol Ann Johnston Thompson. Luke Simon Harvey McCann. Christine Dew. Claire Howie. Kira Kelly. Jamie Lee McAleese. Emma Louise McAnini. Chelsea Rose McCarthy. Bridget Elizabeth McKenna. Victoria Frances Miller. Colette Kathleen Moran. Lauren Nicole Wilkinson. Amy McDonough. In political psychology, Catherine Linda Mitchell. Melissa Sayoun. Margaret Claire Shear. In psychology of performance enhancement in sport and health, Kenneth Johnston. In psychology of childhood adversity, Catherine Ruth Grady. Ellen Joy White. Gerard Michael Anderson. Lucy Margaret Violet Campbell. Emma Madden. Tori McLaughlin. Kathleen Jaceel Rabb. And for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Psychology, Mary Frances McCafferty. Michelle Josephine Francie. Rachel Stephanie Hill. Kira Keon. Natalie Skov Lockerson. Holly Ann Matchett. Rebecca Jane McClement. Lynn Denby McGowan. Colette Margaret Power. Brona Rooney. Jade Shepherd. Claire Ann Kearney. And Single Honours Schools in Psychology, intercalated, Rachel Ann Elizabeth Giles. Cora Hamill. In Psychological Studies, Rebecca McLaughlin.
Vice-Chancellor, I present to you candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the School of Chemistry and Chemical Engineering. Ina Bradley. Erwin Kadoa. Susan Dick. Laura Dornan. Yue Du. Philip Lisk. Anne Schmid. Adam Henry Turner. And for the degree of Master of Philosophy, Kaidai Chen. Yafeng Chen. Hongbo Liu. And for the degree of Master of Science in Chemical Research, Raina Kirby. And for the degree of Master of Science in Pharmaceutical Analysis, Ross Joseph Dennis Devine. Nicole Dodds. James Francis Elliott. Laura Claire McGee. Hannah Elizabeth O'Kane. Alison Marie Quinn. John Joseph Rafferty. Laura Amelia Johnson. Yi Zhang. Meng Chen Zhu. And for the degree of Master of Science in Process Engineering, Dean Abbott. Sean Hardiman. Miftahul Karate. Benedetta Regini. And for the degree of Master of Engineering in Chemical Engineering, Karen Lucy Breen. Donica Brawley. And for the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Chemical Engineering, Luke Martin John Thomas Rainey. Paul Alexander Courtney. Jeremy John Richard Charlton.
Vice-Chancellor, I present to you candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the School of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering. Richard Hayes. Thomas Michael Leonard. And for the degree of Master of Science in Advanced Aerospace Engineering, Andrew James Patterson. Mang Han Chua. Stephen Thomas Mallon. Jonathan Joseph McCloy. Lauren McVeigh. Satila Randika Bandara Teminamala. And Advanced Mechanical Engineering, Lee Henry Gibson. Jordan David Hughes. Connor Patrick Donaghy. Katie Patricia Hart. Donald Patrick Lynch. Peter McCourt. Nathan Connor Murray. And for the degree of Master of Engineering in Mechanical Engineering, Connor Daniel Hamill. Jennifer Doody. Connor Hamilton. Robert Evan James. Christopher Garrett Johnston. Darren McAtamney. Samuel Redmond McGinn. Robert Pierce McKiffrey. Declan Michael Nugent. Dan Damodar Smith. Jonathan Lunny. Gary Robert Morrow. And for the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Aerospace Engineering, Keelan Boyd Devlin. Trushar Hasmukhbhai Patel. In Mechanical Engineering, Kieran Patrick Butcher. Matthew Joshua Ward. Robbie Burns. Michael James Stewart Caithness. Stephanie Louise Collum. Gavin Kane. Simon McGavigan. David Stephen McGibbon. Michael Quinn. Eamon Cullen. Benjamin Mays. Connor McCafferty.
Vice-Chancellor, I present to you candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the School of Medicine, Dentistry and Biomedical Sciences. James Patrick Byrne. Philip Michael Byrne. Conan Brian Donnelly. John Lindsay. Thomas Marshall. Katrina O'Leary. Una Gemma St. Ledger. Yekaterina Vodina. Sylviane Yoba. And for the degree of Doctor of Medicine, Agnes Masengu. Damien McGrogan. And for the degree of Master of Science in Bioinformatics and Computational Genomics, Owen Joseph Byrne. Shauna May Lamb. Alice Rebecca Owens. Sidevi Priyanwada Seni Virathna. Jordan Stephen Alexander Brown. Rory Connell Kappa. Victoria Maria Moore. Ross Aaron Weller. And in clinical anatomy, Sana Ashraf. Naomi Ruth Bell. Shane Andrew Thomas Caldwell. Philip Canny. Stuart James Cartmill. Michael Cochran. John Alexander Coulter. Rory Mark Cullen. Amy Rose Gilsonen. Jonathan Dylan Gregg. Maeve Catherine Hogg. Jonathan Andrew Paul McKinney. Declan McLaughlin. Catherine Olivia O'Boyle. Stephen James Ramsey. Esther May Spears. Rachel Lewis Crompton. Andrew Michael Dean. Emer Therese Maguire. Matthew John O'Hare. David Thomas Ray. James Dennison. And in clinical education, Kelly Victoria Louise Burrows. Liam James Convey. Adrian Farquharson. Jonathan William Andrew Henderson. Ronan Dalton Keogh. Connor Mulholland. Karen Lindsay Booth. Peter Donnelly. Y.L. L. Sergany. Niamh Mary Hockey. Lucy Jane Jellett. Anthony John McBrearty. Emma Monica Toner. Colin Waters. Abdul Hamid. And in interprofessional health and social care management, Robert Paul Carlyle. Colin McMullen. And for the degree of Masters of Public Health, Sarah Louise Ackroyd. Olivia Jane Anderson. Helen Agnes Campbell. Shaza Dafala Elliman. Cherith Hall. Molly Catherine Keenan. Danielle Elizabeth Logan. Emer Therese McIver. Martha Mary McKenna. Catherine Mullen. Vander Sue Nang. Catherine Grace Newell. Sarah Megan Wallace. Carmoon Ang. Laura Beth Getty. Shan Shan Huang. And for the degree of Masters of Research, Oisin Rees-Jard Duddy. Kevin James Gallagher. Emer Regina Gates. Emma Louise Graham. Hui Peng Ling. Jonathan McComb. Aideen Therese O'Kane. Enya Erin Scanlon. Alice Pei Yao Xia. Shao Ting So. Jackie Ting. Ashlyn Mary Begley. Alexander Paul Bennett. Thomas Martin. Michael O'Neill. And for the degree of Bachelor of Science, Rebecca Finn. Sehar Mariam Kushi. Amy Alana McCullough. Elizabeth Martha Doherty. Leanne Gray. Neve Thompson. James Robert Galway.
Vice-Chancellor, I present to you candidates the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the School of Natural and Built Environment. Kathleen Elizabeth Crossan. Anthony Martin. Rachel Patterson. Paul Gervin Traynor. And for the degree of Master of Arts, Human Geography, Society, Space and Culture, Michael Joseph Rafferty. And for the degree of Master of Science in Advanced Concrete Technology, Nicholas Apobardi. Robert Michael Gray. In Building Information, Modelling, Project Management, Paul Joseph Knight. Ryan Alexander Dunbar. And in Construction and Project Management, Tom Francis Grant. David Alexander Hamilton. Gary Patrick McArdle. Owen Tig O'Ryan. Jared Martin Black. Michelle Rose Canning. Ryan Bernard Devlin. Fergus Donnelly. Sean Patrick Heffernan. Sarah Mawini. Daniel John McAlinden. Jared McGovern. Umwa. Aidan Joseph Rafferty. And in Cultural Heritage and GIS, Emmett Sean Fennelly. In Environment and Engineering, Stephen Campbell. David Scott MacLeod. David McVeigh. Holly Metzen. Fiu Cretini. Caroline Elizabeth Winder. Katie Ann Woodhouse. Edward Joseph Byrne. Thomas Gerard Gervin. Matthew Robert Jones. James McGee. Liam Mulligan. And in Planning and Development, Nicole Catherine Kaiser. Cathy Ann Murphy. Ryan Walker. Jordan Patrick Baxter. Catherine Hannah Dowdle. William Jamie Hanna. Yin Huang. Jonathan David Martin. Matthew Ralston McBride. Susan McGinnell. Kerry Elizabeth McGrath. Clara Elizabeth Miller. Sean Patrick O'Neill. James Michael Smith. Hayley Ann Wilson. Patrick Marks. And in Planning and Regeneration, Jonathan Warren Smith. Kyle Andrew Watts. Tiernan Cox. Kieran Devlin. David Kevin Doyle. Sarah Duggan. Shaneen Hanna. Melissa Jane Harper. Chelsea Emily Johnson. Christopher Thomas McInerney. Julianne McQuaid. Connor Patrick Merrin. And in Structural Engineering, Design and Management, Carl Matthew Allen. And in Urban and Rural Design, Stephen Joseph Donnelly. Mohammed Fadli bin Ilyas. Nigel Chung Ping Chan. Luke Gilmore. Yung Cheng Luo. Aoife Mary Ward. Kay Zhang. Brian Fitzsimmons. And for the degree of Master in Planning, European Planning, Lucia Elbeth Ryan Devon. Benedict Martin McAteer. Ben Murray. Joseph Anthony Billam. Callum Gill Quirk. Grania Lawrenson. Kaylin William O'Neill. Lisa Mary Stewart. And for the degree of Master of Engineering, Environmental and Civil Engineering, Joseph John Murphy. And in Structural Engineering with Architecture, Robert Irwin McCulloch. And for the degree of Bachelor of Science, Environmental Planning, Caroline Claire Semple. Kieran Philip Duffy. Kevin Arthur McCann. And in Single Honours Schools, Ryan Edward Crozier. Jessica McElwain. Neil Eamon McIntyre. Colleen Patterson. And James Walsh.
Vice-Chancellor, I present to you candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the School of Pharmacy. Aaron Courtney. Mary Carmel Kearney. Alice McCluskey. Tong Mung. James Nichol. Danning Shi. Eva Maria Vicente Perez. And for the degree of Master of Philosophy, He Lu. Yanan Sun. Ying Zhang. Yun Zhang. And for the degree of Master of Science in Advanced Pharmacy Practice with Independent Prescribing, Gemma Suzanne Wasson. Joanne Gloria Dugan. In Clinical Pharmacy, David Joseph Fitzgerald. Mustafa Mohammed Kamas. Bridget Lynham. Julie McGee. Lindsay McGurr. Peter Martin McKee. Neve Mary Elizabeth McLister. Emma O'Grady. Diane Helen Watson. Sharon Daly. John Houston. In Community Pharmacy, Rachel Aegis. In Prescribing for Pharmacists, Bernard Martin Brannigan. Christine Mary Hockey. And for the degree of Master of Pharmacy, Rory Doherty. Benjamin Ennis, Declan Hayes, Sarah Therese McKenna, and Nuala Marie Clark.
Oh, you're a very quiet bunch for a group of people that have just walked across this stage and graduated from Queen's. Come on, let's hear it from you. Congratulations. I don't know what they teach them in pharmacy, but they seem to like to hug me there. That must be a first. Well, when I come to the end of our ceremony today, and I first of all want to congratulate everybody. You're now a very proud graduate of Queen's University. So come on, let's give you another round of applause. I think it deserves it. All of you know how hard you've had to work to actually earn your degree and the right to walk across the stage. And I'm sure at times that journey was lonely for you, challenging, probably emotional, and you probably needed a lot of financial help as well. And of course, your parents, families, and friends were right behind you. So let's show them your appreciation. I'm sure you'll also want to acknowledge and join me in acknowledging all the professionals, people who've mentored you, the chaplains, everybody here on the stage, and indeed those that can't be here on the stage today, who've allowed you to actually grow and develop over the course of the last few years. Let's show them your appreciation. As I said earlier, on occasions like this, I reflect on my own graduation ceremony, and one of the things that I always remember is that feeling of, I've actually done it. I've really achieved something. And I'm sure each of you now are feeling exactly that way today. But there probably were times when you didn't feel that. I know certainly that was true in my case. And the fact is, you really have achieved something. I also remember that the person who was giving the speech went on forever, and all I could do was think about what I was going to do that evening, you know. But the important thing was, in part what I've said before, I had no idea about the fantastic opportunities that would be presented to me, the unbelievable journey that I actually was about to begin and embark on. No idea about the dreams that I would have to discard and the new ones that would replace them and spring up. I had no idea that disappointments and challenges that would arise, and the realization that actually failure didn't necessarily mean the end of the world. Indeed, it meant the opposite. It usually meant that a new door was about to open and with an opportunity behind it. And certainly, I wasn't thinking about becoming Vice-Chancellor of Queen's University. But I imagine, as you've all been preparing for graduation over the last few days, you've been wondering, well, where have the last few years actually gone? When you walk through the Lanyon complex for the first time, looking around you, possibly not knowing the people in the same lecture or tutorial groups as you, and now look at you compared to then. You're changed. And you're changed because you're now much more confident in yourself and indeed in your abilities. You're changed because you now possess the skills to tackle life's challenges. And you're changed because you can be immensely proud of all you have achieved. And you also are changed because you've earned the right to be seated there and the right to cross the stage. As I said earlier, this university makes a real difference to people's lives, but it does that because of people like you, and indeed the people behind me on this stage. Each and every single one of you have the power to change the world, both as individuals, as groups of individuals. And testament to that fact is, in this year alone, over 5,500 of our students at Queen's, some of you in this room, are very actively involved in volunteering in helping some of the most marginalised in our society and indeed in societies elsewhere, and supported by our very vibrant Students' Union. That's an immense contribution by the students of Queen's to the society they live in, and in particular to those people less fortunate than they. For some of you, you already know what your next step is. But for others, that is still an unknown. And by the way, that's just fine. As the late David Bowie said, "I don't know where I'm going from here, but I promise it won't be boring." And that's the point. Have the confidence and the conviction to go into the unknown, to be comfortable with the unknown, and to challenge yourself through that. But whatever that step is, as a Queen's graduate, remember that you're already distinguished by your intellectual capability, by your ability to secure employment around the world, and by your potential for leadership as global citizens. And indeed, I am proud that in this hall today there already are graduates who make that kind of difference to society that I talked about earlier, to whom education has not only made a difference to their lives, but indeed to others. People like Catherine Newell, who's graduating with her Masters in Public Health after completing her undergraduate degree in Geography. Catherine is now successfully going to join the Medical Research Council's doctoral training programme at Oxford after gaining one of only 25 places on offer. Catherine, we wish you every future success. Let's show her our... People like Leanne Gray, who's graduating in human biology. Leanne had to overcome a series of personal challenges. Her husband Mark died in 2006 from a brain tumour. She's now a single mum of 2 teenage girls, but it certainly didn't stop her from achieving great things. In 2010, she decided to begin a degree in human biology, and she has not looked back since. Leanne is now working for a fundraising company and is considering doing a PhD in mental health nursing. Leanne, we wish you every future success. Laura Dornan, who has graduated today with a PhD in chemistry. Laura has received the very prestigious Fulbright Scholar Award, which she will use to carry out her postdoctoral research at Stanford University. Laura, congratulations to you. And I also want to acknowledge today many of you in the room, many not, but the over 200 architecture, civil engineering, music, sonic arts, and anthropology students who are involved in street society, working with community groups on live projects across all of Northern Ireland's urban villages. That's a huge contribution that you make for yourselves on behalf of this university to the communities of Northern Ireland. Let's show all of those people who are doing that, and indeed those schools, our appreciation. So when you take off your graduation gown today, remember you're only taking off a garment. That from today you'll always wear with pride the fact that you are a graduate of this great university. You should also be proud today that you're now part of a unique worldwide group of alumni. So do get involved with our Graduates Association, make the most of the opportunities it provides, and do keep in touch with us. Indeed, some of you actually might even meet your future spouse through the alumni group, so it might be worth your while. But most importantly, go out of here today with your dreams intact. Cherish them, protect them, and never, ever forget them. Go out of here today believing in yourselves and in your power to change things for the better. And go out of here today remembering to be proud of the fact that you're a graduate of Queen's University Belfast. I wish you every success, and again, my warmest congratulations on your graduation. Well done, and good luck. Please rise. I declare closed this congregation for the conferment of degrees, presentation of diplomas and certificates, and invite our new graduates and recipients to join the academic procession as it leaves the hall. Parents and friends, can I ask you to please wait until the procession has left? Thank you.